Hi, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you are keeping well. My name is Dr. Mercy. Allow me today to share with us a story I was given a long time ago. I don't even remember who gave me the story, but I use it a lot of times when I am speaking to parents, I'm speaking to couples, I'm speaking to people in a relationship, whatever kind of relationship. Now, there is this place where people like blaming the other one. The woman wants to blame the man is blaming the woman, mommy is blaming dad, and dad is blaming mom, and the child is blaming the parents. I mean, everybody is looking for somebody to blame. Now, the story goes like this, that every one of us has 100% responsibility in a relationship. Your part is 100%. There is nothing like a 50% or a 20%, a 30%. There is nothing like who is contributing more to the relationship. Whether it is a parent, children, or it is a couple, or whoever, even in friendship, your beat is 100%. My beat is 100%. And I remember in the story, somebody talking about you take some time before you call each other. Your friends, you take some time before you call each other. Then finally, one of you decides to break the silence and makes the call. So it is like, hi, how are you? Now, the one who is being called, remember, has also not called. But this person picks the call and it's like, you have really lost me. Hata hujanipigia simu. You have really missed you. And yet, you did not call yourself. Is this other person who has called? Now, both sides have a responsibility. So I said I would give you the story. And story come. Now, this is how the story goes. There were four people. You may have heard this story, but allow me to repeat it, just to show that each one of us has something to, as a part to play in the relationship. So the first person was the solarizer. It's in theater. It has to do with a patient who is supposed to be going to theater. So we have the sterilizer, this guy who boils the tools that the doctor will need to use in theater. And then we have the nurse, and then we have the anesthetist, and we have the doctor, the one who will be operating. So the sterilizer comes in late, and he discovers, ouch, it's almost time for the doctor to come. So what does this person is supposed to sterilize do? He decides to pack the tools without sterilizing them. Then he tells the nurse, oh, nimechelewa, and the doctor is just about to come. I've not sterilized. I have fungad the tools. Okay, the nurse picks the tools and goes to theater and tells the anesthetist, I have the tools here, but the guy who was supposed to sterilize has not sterilized because he came in late, and it's just about the doctor's time. Ouch! Even before that conversation goes far, the doctor comes in and asks, hey guys, how are you? Where are the tools? And the nurse is there holding the tools, and the anesthetist is also there with the injection and everything else. And then the anesthetist tells the doctor, anyway, I'm here with the nurse. She has the tools, but she has told me that the person who was supposed to sterilize the tools did not have enough time because he came in late and you're just about to come. So anyway, he just fungad the tools the way they were, and the tools are here. So the doctor says, anyway, have you injected the patient? Is the patient already asleep? Those things they do in theater. And the doctor calls the patient and amuralisha kwa kitanda and quickly injects the patient so that the patient can sleep and the doctor can do the operation and all that. So the nurse is there with the tools, and remember, the tools were not sterilized, and this other doctor who is supposed to inject has already injected the patient, and the patient is already asleep, and the doctor is here, cuts the patient as usual, as they normally do, operates, and of course, like you can imagine, the patient gets infected and the patient finally dies. If I may ask, who was wrong? Is it the doctor? Is it the person who injected the patient? Is it the nurse who was holding the tools for the doctor? Is it the guy who was supposed to sterilize? I don't know what your answer is, but I want to imagine you are saying the doctor because he was the senior. You are saying this other doctor who was injecting, or maybe you are saying the nurse, or maybe you are saying this other guy, the very first one who was supposed to sterilize. And I gave this story to some place, to some guy, some audience, and somebody told me, I think it is the patient. The patient should not have accepted to be operated, but of course the patient did not know. Anyway, whoever you think, if you were to align them, whoever you think should be, take the brain number 1, then number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, because we have 5 characters. It really doesn't matter. The 4 personnel were all guilty, the same. Why? Because each one of them under responsibility, each one of them under part to do. When the sterilizer was given the JD, the job description, his work was to sterilize. When the nurse was given the responsibility, our work was to care for the patient. When the doctor who was injecting was given the responsibility, his responsibility was to inject and ensure that the patient was safe. And of course, the doctor's role, the surgeon, was to ensure that everything is done well. They are all guilty the same. What do I mean? Or what do I want to say? Every one of us has a part to play in the relationship, as a part to play in the business, as a part to play in parenting, including the child himself or herself. Each one of us has a role to play in whatever it is that we are doing. I preach the same message to the parents and the teachers. When it comes to school management, the teachers cannot point a finger to the parents and say it is the parent who is responsible. Neither can the parent say it's the teacher who is responsible. There is that which is the work for the teacher, there is that which is supposed to be done by the parent. And of course, there is that which is for the student, for the child himself. I encourage us, let's take up our responsibility seriously. Do it like there is no one else who is going to do it. Just play your role. Do it the best way that you know how. And may God help us that we remain committed to whatever we have been called to do in parenting, in relationships, at our workplace, wherever we are. Do it. Let it be right. Do it right, because it is the right thing to do. Toodles. Thank you.